What if the story you keep telling yourself isn't yours, but a collection of other people's voices from the past? Your parents, teachers, friends, anybody who influenced you to believe in limitations, or somehow that you're not enough, or experiences that made you believe that somehow you can't do what you want to actually do. What if the story you tell yourself was never meant to be yours? And that's one thing I found out. Um, as I was going through my mind and seeing all these things that I was believing in, unconscious beliefs, they weren't even mine. They were just borrowed. And the reason they were borrowed is because I didn't have a voice for myself. Until I began to have a voice for myself, then I began to push all of those things out of my mind. And you could do the exact same too. So, if the story you tell yourself is making you feel small, like you're not capable, or somehow restricting the quality of your life, not allowing you to move forward to really do what you want to do, then that story isn't yours. Your story is created by your true self, and your true self would never entertain stories that make you feel limited, small, weak, incapable, etc. So, what creates a story? Stories are created by the words that are entered inside your mind. Every word that affirms an experience, whether true or not, becomes a story eventually. If enough words build that story, and if you unconsciously affirm it, then it becomes true. It becomes like a lens that you begin to see life through. And that lens, that story, influences your decision making. And from decision making, you confirm the story. Oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not confident, will eventually lead you to decisions that affirm and confirm that you're not confident by not making the decision of getting out of your comfort zone. So stories really make your reality. And the reason why is because of the decisions that are created or influenced by the story that you keep telling yourself. And the good thing about like what I'm talking about stories, the good thing is that you could change your story consciously. And that is by first becoming aware of it. Because if you're not aware of the story you keep telling yourself, then you'll be living as the story itself, as a living expression, instead of seeing it from a third person view. And if you're not able to see it, then you become the story itself. So you need to first see the story. And once you begin to see it, then you are in a place of awareness where you are able to change the story, to change the words, to allow new words to build a new story. So that way you could create a different reality for yourself and a different feeling in your internal world. So change really starts with presence. I say it in every video, but it's true. When you become present with yourself, you step out of your mind and you begin to step into awareness. That's the place where everything will begin to change. Change happens now. If you try to change tomorrow, then you're already too late. You missed your opportunity. So you have to see the things that you keep on telling yourself now, and then just observe how the things that you say or what you're saying to yourself are influencing you in your decision making and just your reality and how you move in your reality. So with presence, you begin to see the story. You begin to challenge it, and you create a new one with deliberately created words that will tailor a new story for yourself and create a new feeling for yourself. So if you see yourself as someone who feels helpless, incapable, not confident, if you begin to see that inside your internal world, question it, see it for what it is, not judge it, just accept it. See it from a place of genuine awareness. and then you begin to change it with new words, with a new story, and just let go of the old story little by little, gradually, while making space for the new story to enter inside your mind, and just let it influence you and keep it, and really stay committed to it in a low-key short period amount of time. Things will begin to change for you, because now the story is beginning to shift. The internal story you keep telling yourself, or kept telling yourself, will begin to shift in a new direction, and you'll begin to feel that inwardly. And that's how change really happens. Change happens from within. If you try to change your story outside, you're trying to change the effect of things, when you should be coming inside your mind. You should be walking towards your inner world and just changing everything from within, because that's the cause of the effects that you see in your reality. And you know when you're making a good story, when you feel like you're beginning to open up, when you have this sense of doors are opening for you, or you become more of yourself, you feel more comfortable moving in the world, more in your mind, and you just feel this sense of ease, like life is finally receiving you with open arms. So that is what creates a good story. A story for yourself should allow you to grow, and a bad story keeps you in the same place. So if you keep that in mind, and if you keep growing in mind, then you will begin to make a story for yourself that will just allow you to grow. And of course, growing is a little painful, but past the pain, you just begin to grow and see life in a more full perspective. So you can change your story now, but you have to become aware of the one you're telling yourself now. So that way you could get rid of it and replace it with new words, new affirmations that have life behind them, that have the feeling of what you want, and keep telling yourself that while letting go of the old and making way for the new, and establishing it inside your mind as true with action, constant affirmation, and just being present, and just watch what happens. I used to I used to think I was dumb because in school I would always get F's. In high school I would always get F's. I would always get D's. I was never good at school. So when it came for me to learn all this stuff, to read, to write, and to just build skills, I was I would always be in the mindset of my old story, which was I'm not good at school, I'm not good at anything academic, so why try? But I started to challenge that story, and as I began to challenge that and introduce new words that built a new story, I began to let go of the old, make way for the new, stay committed to the new story I'm telling myself, no matter how hard, no matter how uncomfortable it felt or new, and I would just stay committed. And next thing you know, I feel more capable. I don't feel like I'm dumb anymore. I like learning. I like to read. I'm exploring life more and just being about learning a whole bunch of stuff everywhere I go. Before I wasn't like that. I was closed minded because of that block that I had, that story block of I'm not good with anything academic, reading, learning, you name it. But now that is gone, I don't feel that way. I feel so open. I feel like I could learn anything. I could do anything. And it's just so liberating. And that is the power of a good story that you keep telling yourself. But the old, like what I was saying earlier about me being dumb or me believing I was dumb, that is also the power of a bad story. So your story would dictate your life because of the decisions that it influences you to do. So change your story and you begin to change your life.